Hello, guys. So, this happened a while ago with my spirit, and I felt, you know what, I should drop it here with you guys. Now, the Holy Spirit gave me a picture of something that happened when I was a child. This was way back in the 90s. I always watched my dad. He had a car, a red Carina or Corolla, I don't remember, but it was a red car. And he would check the water of that car every morning. As long as my father was going to use the car every morning, he would check where the water is. Now, some mornings, the water doesn't need to be topped up. My father will be satisfied at that. Sometimes he will open it up and you could see that he doesn't need to add any more water. But he would still add water until it overflows, then he'll be happy with himself. Sometimes we'll get up and we would see that there's no water at all, and he would start topping water up till it gets filled up. Some other days is halfway, but either ways, my father was sure to check that water. After he's done checking that, he would check the oil. Now, every other time I go home, my father still does the same thing, even though he has a modern car that is supposed to regulate itself. Now, in 2019, this year, in January, I had a friend that his car knocked, and he called his mechanic, and his mechanic opened up his car and found out that he didn't have any water at all. Like, it had dried up completely. And he said to his mechanic, why would this happen? Isn't this car supposed to regulate itself? And the mechanic is like, yeah, these things happen. Long and short of the story, he spent some money fixing that car. Now, the story, the lesson in this story actually is most of us Christians are living our lives without checking our personal relationship with God. We're not making use of our secret place. Hear me. No matter how on fire you think you are for God, if you are not going back to God constantly every day to check yourself, to feel yourself, you're going to knock. Just like my father will open up the car sometimes and find out that the water is actually empty, close to nothing. This was a car he filled yesterday. This is how every Christian is supposed to be in check with their relationship with God. Sometimes we go through battles in life that actually drains us. Therefore, we need to be refilled. We are going through struggles, tribulations, trials. We need to be in God. Many of us are going through things that we are going through, not because there is no God, but because there is no prayer, because there is no secret time with God, because there is no personal relationship with God. Time for Bible study is gone. Time for prayers is gone. We are lost in the activity of Christianity that we have completely forgotten what it means to be in fellowship with God. You're going to knock. There is no way. This is the modern time. You can go about thinking, oh, you know what? Things are not done that way anymore. I can just go about, if I can just go and sow a seed, one thing or the other, I'm fine. I don't need to keep going back to God in prayers. I don't need to wake up at night to pray. I don't need to say my devotions in the morning. You are going to knock. No matter how firm you think you are, no matter how good you think that job is, no matter how sweet you think that marriage is, if you do not go back to God every other time to get a refill of God, to get a knowledge of God, you're going to knock. It's a certainty, and you will knock. We all need God. We all need it. We all have to. My sister texted me a minute ago or some while ago, and she said to me, how selfless is God? As an, I don't know how to explain it. God is so selfless that at any point in time we go to him, he's happy to pour himself into us. Why then are we not making use of that opportunity that God has given to us? Many of us are at the verge of packing up because we have refused to be refilled by God. I hope I blessed somebody.